Welcome back everyone to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So we're coming off of another great race where we got yet another victory. Unfortunately, we're not making as much headway as I would like on first place, but we're going to keep plugging away, and our goal is to get car number 2 more and more points with better and better finishes. Of course, in order to do that, we got to get all of our drivers healthy, and we got to get them all pulling in the same direction. So we're getting there, and if we don't win the championship this season, it's not going to be a failure. Again, I'm looking at this long term and just having a ball playing the game. We're going to get to the A class at some point, but for right now, I'm having fun building HQ buildings and getting faster and all of those things that come along with playing the game. So I definitely understand that a lot of people want to get there as soon as possible, and hey, I've been there, done that too, but at this point, I'm a little bit more mellow about this and am just enjoying everything about the game. Let's jump right into our emails and pit crew. Everything was good there. Home race win. You always like that. That gives us a huge jump in morale. Not necessarily needed, but hey, we'll take it. Okay. And you saw right at the end of our last video, the gearbox build was finished right as we came back to the main menu. So let's jump right in. Oh, let's do our mandatory interview. Let's see, your team was given a penalty for causing a collision. What do you have to say? Let's see. I don't know. Let's just choose the middle one. All right, we lose a little bit of that, but hey, if you make the mistake, you got to own up to it. So we're not quite ready to improve our parts just yet, so let's go ahead and move things forward so we can get that done. Okay, now finally, Sophia is feeling better, so that opens up our possibilities for the next race. We also get ready to start improving some more parts. All right, so let's just take a quick glimpse at where we are with the gearbox. There's our brand new part. We want to, of course, go ahead and put it over so we can begin working on the reliability. Now, it'll be done well before. You can see it's going to take about 10 days to max that out. And then what I may do is simply get all of these parts. I may focus on improving the rest of these parts for the rest of that time. Because what we're looking at now is we're going to have a big jump in performance for car number 2. Okay, so if we look at car number 2, their gearbox is at 498 right now. Okay, scroll down a little bit more. So they're right here, 498. And they're about to jump right up to 534 or whatever we can get it up to there. So that's going to be a very nice jump. Now, car number 1's not going to quite have as big of a jump, but we continue to make our cars better. And now we have another question to answer. Do we want to continue to work on our cars going forward? Okay, we want to continue to spend that money. And the answer is, actually, I'm not sure. The suspension, I think we're probably done on. 545 is where we are now, top end. But if you look at what we have possible, we really don't have anything possible that we can use this year. Okay, so if we take a look at, and let's just see what we've got if we choose basically the best available option. Then we open up that third part for next time, and you can see there's nothing really there that we want. So I'm not inclined to spend any more time on it. If we look at our nose, we've made some huge improvements there. We could do another 226. Or who knows, maybe even a little bit better there. And then the brakes, we are doing great, quite frankly, on the brakes. And in fact, just by maxing out what we can do on these, I think will go a long way toward that. So I think overall, maybe another nose. Let's see what we can get. 226 is where we are now. And let's just see. Our third slot is opened. Which means that we would have the ability to choose a couple from here, but unfortunately, I don't really see it. Again, if we're looking toward next year, then yeah, we've got some more work we could do. We could pick You know, we could pick the plus 35 there. We could pick the plus 50 here and go a long way. But realistically, we don't have anything much, and we can save that money. So for now, I am going to save our money, and probably we'll keep coming back to this, but probably the only reason for me to continue developing any new parts would be is if we get toward the end of the season, over the next few races, and we figure out that, you know what, we're probably going to have little to no chance of winning the championship, then I would consider moving on and developing some new parts. All right, what I want to do now is I actually want to swap out a couple of things here. Let's make sure we get the parts for car 1 in here that we're going to work on. All right, so we're going to take care of that. Let's come in, look at our pit crew. Let's see if there's anybody we want to hire. We're going to immediately reject, well, several of these actually. And yeah, this is just not what I'm looking for. I'm going to reject all of these, and hopefully we'll continue to get new ones pop in here. And let's do remove our fatigued pit crew. And let's see. All right, swap out. Swap out. All right, tires. We definitely want you working on tires. Okay. And let's see, what else? Looking pretty good other than that. We've got some fresh bodies back in there, and everybody, for the most part, is maxed out on stamina, for the most part. Okay, I think we're in good shape here. And so now let's move everything forward so we can work on getting that new part ready, and then we'll work on some of the performance. There you go. You see that reliability work is almost done. There we go. So now that is out of the way. Oh, let's see, we got some volunteer work going on. More marketability. Excellent. We'll take all the marketability we can get. Okay, so now let's see, what do we have here? We have performance 16, and it's definitely not going to be 16 over here. So we'll move it over, and that's a difference of about 7 days. All right, so let's make sure that we've got the parts in here we want. We've got our best brake package, our best nose, and best gearbox. Okay, and best suspension. So we're in good shape there. So they're not going to be fully done by the time this race rolls around, but we're going to be in good shape. Very good shape. Oh, we've got problems. See what this email's got. We've got another driver's an absolute nightmare. Not only do they constantly belittle me when talking to the press, but now he's saying I'm not. Okay, why do you even care? All right, so we'll get the hard worker trait. Yeah, I mean, it's just, wow. All right, let's see what that does for us. Lee now has the hard worker trait, which gives him a plus 15 on the mechanic relationship and a plus 1 on fitness. All right, so very good. Very good. We'll take that. All right, I like that. And under improving the parts, so we're making some headway here. Okay, and let's see, choosing a vote. So what's coming up next? Oh, this is the time where we get to pick something to vote on. Okay, we're going to reject that. Okay, so far so good. Okay, not bad at all. We are currently right on our target. Excellent. So our race mechanics. Yes, some of the other teams definitely have better race mechanics than us. There's no question about that. All right, so something that I've been thinking about doing. Okay, if we take a look at our finances, it says 1.38. Well, we should be able to do quite a bit better. In fact, have been doing quite a bit better than that at all the races. So I've decided to jump out here a little bit and look at some new HQ things. Okay, so I had put this off for a little while. We've been saving up our money and so forth. So we've got several options. Obviously, we could build one or even two of these. We could also, upgrade one or more of these. But the one I'm really looking at is the factory. And of course, that's $15 million, which is a huge amount of money for us to spend. However, it gives us more personnel to work on these parts. And that is something I am very, very interested in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, upgrade time is going to be 30 weeks. So it's going to take a little while. But let's go ahead. Again, we're taking a long-term view. And at this point, since I'm not too keen on continuing to work on new parts, we've got the money to spend. And as long as we keep up the good work on the track and we continue to get good finishes, we should be in good shape. All right, so right now, let's see what our emails have. Okay, nothing that we're going to worry about. Let's see where our parts are. And, okay, not bad. Definitely a lot of work left to do, but we're getting there. That's the main thing. So let's go ahead and prepare for the race. We're going to choose this 4th or above, and you can see that'll help us out quite a bit on the math if we're able to do that. All right, let's see. So we're going to go... Let's swap this up just a little bit. And I'm going to go, instead of 3, 6, and 6, I'm going to go 4, 6, and 5 in this particular case because, well, I think I like having the opportunity to have the softest compound available just in case we need it toward the end of a race, or who knows, maybe even in the middle of a stint, just in case. Because sometimes, like we've seen the weather, where we know weather is coming, but we're going to have a short amount of time before we need to come in and put those tires on. Maybe we could fit in some of the softest compound for that particular weekend during those times. So let's give it at least one extra here, and we'll see if that works out for us. I definitely don't think it's going to hurt us, but you just never know. It might help us out in a bind. All right, we need to swap out our nose section. So that's going to be a nice improvement for car number 1. And then on the gearbox, we're going to swap out both of these, and both of these will have somewhere around 35 points of improvement there. So that's going to be big for everyone involved. And of course, along with that, we have the huge improvements now to reliability that we've been able to get, such that reliability should no longer be an issue at all for us. Just as soon as I say that, something will happen to change that. But for now, it certainly doesn't look like that's going to be an issue for us. So with that in mind, let's head to Rio. Practice and qualifying are now done, so it's time to move on to the race. We had a great qualifying session. We ended up 1st and 2nd, so we swept the front row of qualifying. There was a lot of weather, lots of rain during practice and qualifying, so it was interesting, to say the least, to try to get in those laps on the soft tires, or the dry weather tires rather, and try to get those quick laps in qualifying. But we managed to do it, so we will be starting on the front row. We have our normal race trim bonuses and then our refueling and engine bonuses as well. We're going to be starting on the super soft tires simply because they match up the best with the fuel. And the key here is we're going to try to do a 3-stop race with car number 2, and we'll see how it goes for car number 1. I'm going to start out with the intent of doing a 3-stop race, but if we're able to get an hour in this first stint, then I'll be looking hard at a 2-stop race. So again, we'll just see how the tires go, the fuel, and so on, and take it from there. So as normal, we'll be starting off high engine mode, and then we'll be pushing as the driving style. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. I'm very excited to get going after the speed that we showed in both practice and qualifying. Okay, I see some ultra softs right behind us, and then a lot of soft tires toward the rear of the middle and rear of the grid. So this should be quite a bit of fun. We'll have to watch out for the tire heat here and make sure that we don't overheat the tires, particularly on car number 2. All right, so here we go. We're going to watch and see exactly what happens. Look at that. Car number 2 immediately falls straight to the back. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and calm them down. It's not even about speed right now for them. They're going to have to calm down. Wow. They immediately fell like a rock. Now, I switched up things a little bit on car number 2. We got a different driver running up front. We actually started Tang. So he's going to be seeing what he can do. And oh my goodness, we are overheating tires massively. That's what I get for taking my eye off of it for 2 seconds. So now we are in the green on both cars. And we'll try to see if we can get these tire temps back down to where we need them. And we're going to try to get out to as much of a lead as we can with car number 1. I would like to say the same about car number 2 as well. But they've made their own bed here. And see if he can work his way back out of it. But anyway, car number 1 has had a great start. And whenever you get yourself back in traffic like that, you don't get to fuss about being stuck behind somebody. That you don't get to do that. You lost the positions. It's your job to make them back up. All right, so we're back down to where we want to be on tire heat. Let's push a little bit here. But I'm going to try to be very careful about pushing too much. And let's go ahead and go back to conserve. So running and spending so much time on the green mode or conserve, that will definitely mean that our driver stamina should have no issues making it for the 45 minutes or the 1 hour stints, as the case may be. But we'll see about the tires. Always a question as to whether or not the tires can do it. And in fact, here, I'm actually, because we're pulling away, I mean, we're 11 seconds ahead. I'm going to let the tire temp drop a little bit more and try to work more in that lower section of the tire heat rather than worrying so much about staying at the midline or even above. Okay, now let's go back to neutral and we'll try to get it right back up to the midline, and then from there we'll back off once again. So this track, very hard on tires. We could have gone, of course, with the even harder tire, the actual soft tire, and no weather coming. But again, I want to get as much speed out of this car as I can. Okay, let's go back to conserve there. Back to neutral once again. All right, so I like what I'm seeing. Trying to make sure these tires last. We're running our own race and seem to be doing a pretty good job of it, quite frankly. Okay, let's go back to conserve. All right, up to a 14, almost 14 and a half second lead right now. And I mean, we're in the ballpark here with car number 2. Not the best that we could have hoped for from this start, but nonetheless, we're going to give it all we've got. Now remember, 45 minutes is what we're looking for, and you can see we've gotten that out of car 2. That is excellent. So a very good first stint aside from lap 1. You can see made their way back up, doing a very good job. And now at this point, what I'm going to do is let's really drop the hammer. Okay, on the engine. We know we've got that bonus that means we don't have to worry about the engine taking more wear. Okay, fuel looking good. All right, we'll be coming in this next time by, and we will go to, let's see, who do we want to go to here? Let's go ahead and see what we can get out of a middle stint here. I'm going to try, again, looking for around 45 minutes or so. Let's see if she can give that to us. Let's go ahead and fill it up. Okay. All right, so not bad at all. All right, let's go ahead and calm back down a little bit. There we go. So now we're in for our pit stop. We just need nice and smooth. Okay, everything looks good. Let's go back to high engine mode here. All right, so we're at 55 minutes. And really the tires, wow, this is, yeah, not looking good. Let's go ahead and pit. And let's put Lee in the car and let's continue on this path. And we'll be able to know a good bit more after this stint if we're going to be able to do the 2 stops. If we're not, then we're not, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'll take a 3-stop strategy as well. Okay, everything looks good so far on the pit stop. And okay, good. Very good, but we just basically ran out of tire, and I did not want to get the tire wear down that low. Okay. All right, we'll see. It looks like, yep, these guys are definitely going, it appears, for a 2-stop strategy, or they may simply be trying to get a real long stint out of the way at the first of the race, and then they're going to go shorter stints the rest of the way. We've seen that before. Okay, let's go back to conserve. Again, trying to conserve these tires as much as we can. There we go. Pit stops are happening, but they had a nice long run. All of those who are just now coming in. That was a very good long run at the start of the event. But now you can see we have a 31-second lead. We need to continue to run hard with both cars and get as big a lead as we can and keep as much of a lead as we can, particularly on car number 1. Now car number 2, we need some more performance out of them. We're going to try to press as much as we can, but she doesn't have quite the stamina numbers that I think we're going to need for that. So we're going to have to be very careful that we can get to that 45-minute stint with her. I think we're going to be pushing it. All right, let's take a quick glance at the lap times, and wow, you can see out in the lead we are running some great laps, almost a full second faster than second position, and not that bad on the second car either, although definitely not as blazingly fast as we would prefer to be. But yeah, definitely not bad. Okay, so we will continue to work with the tire heat and try to keep it toward the bottom end of the spectrum, because we really need these tires to last. And if they don't, then we need all the lead we can get, particularly for car number 1, so that we can do that 2-stop strategy or 3-stop strategy, as the case may be. But boy, we are running away with it at the front of this pack right now. Okay, we're now 37 minutes into the stint on car number 2, and looking good, quite frankly. She looks like she's just going to make it to the 45-minute level that we need her to make it to. So So I am very happy about that. That's where we need to be. And again, I'm trying to press a little bit with her, but not get too carried away. All right, here we go. We've got rain coming. Okay, change that. Let's back out of that. And wow, it is coming. So are we going to make it? That is the real question with car 2. Yikes. Because I see the rain coming in about, wow, that's going to be, we're not going to make it. Yeah, we're not going to make it that far, not for car 2. Car 1, I think we're going to make it till the rain, but car 2, I don't think so. All right, so car 2, let's go ahead and pit. Yeah, we're not going to make it there, because that's going to be about probably 15 minutes until we would come in and put on the new tires. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put on the Ultra Softs and go ahead and fill it up so we won't have to fill up next time we come in. But yeah, I'm going to try to make car 1 last until we get to this rain, and then we'll see. Who knows, maybe it's not going to rain that hard. Okay, everything looks good. And let's go ahead and go as hard as he can go. Okay, we're not terribly worried about car number 1 right now. This really hurts car 2, no doubt. All right, so again, we're keeping it in the green over here because I am trying very hard to make it till the rain. All right, we are almost there. So as soon as we can come in and realistically, because it does appear as though this rain is going to last for a while. As soon as we can realistically come in and put on those wet weather tires, we will do so. All right, and it looks like that time is going to have to be now. In fact, perfect timing on his complaining. So we're at an hour 4, which the weather has really messed us up here. It does look like the inters are going to be the way to go. So we're going to put those on there. And, of course, fill it up. Okay, so we'll see what Petra can do. There we go. All right, so pit stop going well. Oh, that looked great. All right, let's try to start out in neutral. And now it's time to come to the pits for car number 2. Let's go ahead. We know we got to come in at least one more time. So let's swap out. And go ahead and fill it up. To keep all the fuel in it we can get. Okay, pit stops look good. No mistakes. And let's go ahead and go, whoops, neutral. Okay, let's go back to conserve. So we're still in the lead by a good margin because we still have the dry tires is 35 seconds behind us. When they pit, now we have a 44-second lead. Unfortunately, car 2 is not so lucky. But that's just bad timing. That's all that is. Not a whole lot we could do about that. Okay, it looks like it's going to be raining for at least a little while into the future. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to break this down and into 2 stops for sure for car number 2. So we're going to go ahead and give them all the speed we can give them. And we'll just run this thing as hard as we can, and whatever happens will just have to happen. Okay, meanwhile, Petra just holding steady up here. Holding steady, 45 seconds on the lead so far. And weather still looks to continue the rain. Looks like it might be starting to level off a little bit from what we can just see in the distance. Okay, let's go back to conserve. Yeah, the lead is definitely holding steady there. Let's see what we've got on our lap times, 142.8, and yeah, that's not going to do us any favors on those in front of us. Talking about car 2, 141.8, yeah. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not going to be blazingly fast and catch the guys in front. On the other hand, the times we're running at the front of the pack are huge. I mean, 141.8 is the slowest time I've seen in a while. So yeah, we're right up there. If not the fastest car on the track, we're among the fastest cars on the track every lap. Okay, we already know that that Tang cannot finish the race. I mean, he's only got about 19 more minutes that he can stay in the car. So we're going to have to pit him out. But essentially what we're doing is using up everything we can use up. Doesn't look good for our opportunities here, but at the same time, you know, it just kind of is what it is. All right, looks like it's going to dry out, but not until the very end of the race. So let's go ahead and come in for that pit stop, and we will put Mike back in the car. And let's put some new ones on for him. Okay, there we go. All right, so our lead is looking good. We're still above 40 seconds on that. Let's go back down to conserving. So we got 23 minutes remaining in the race, and you can see we're well off of the pace here. Our only real shot is if some of these guys have to pit for repairs or something like that. The timing was just such that we had to make an extra pit stop that we didn't want to make. And that is going to be the nail in our coffin for this race. Okay, let's go back up to neutral and take a quick look at the lap times, and we're still just not getting it done on the lap times. Okay, there we go. That one was better. But I expected more out of the lap times than what we got for the most part in this race. And of course, part of that was on me because I swapped out our number one driver this time just to see what difference it would make, and definitely we didn't have the type of finish that would lead me to believe that I need to keep doing this, but it was a test I wanted to do, and let's just say it was not successful. All right, we got guys coming in for dry tires. We are not. We got 8 minutes left in this race, and we're just going to ride this thing out. Okay, because they are 100 seconds behind us. That's the closest one. And even the Ultra Softs not going to have time to make up the ground they need to make up. So we're just going to miss the points, it looks like, on car number 2. All right, in the meantime, Petra's got 2 more minutes to go, and you can see these guys are coming as fast as they possibly can because our lap times have dropped. You can see we're at 149, they're at a 136 or 7. But again, it's not going to matter. Too little, too late for them. So there we go. We take the victory once again. That's going to get us some nice points. Unfortunately, the fact that car number 2 didn't get any points is probably going to hurt us overall in the championship. All right, but I am very pleased. We had plenty of speed in that race for car number 1, and I thought we were going to be okay with car number 2, but just wasn't to be with the way the rain fell. Okay, so we bring home the victory, and unfortunately, nobody else had any penalties or anything, so we don't move up any points there. We'll bring home the 10 points, and of course, we'll bring home the trophy. Okay, so we have a solid lead on the driver championship, but the one we care about, we lost some ground. So we actually lost 4 points in that race. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. Unfortunately, we know what the cause is. And we also know what we can do about it, but at this point, I am not inclined to make a whole lot of changes. Because like I said, if we have to run another season down here, I am perfectly okay with that. I'm having a blast. And that's really all I care about with this. Okay, looking at the driver form, Sophia was on her game for sure. Lead, not so much. And let's look at car 2. Tang, not too bad. 7.7. He was the best of the group. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out as much as I would have preferred it to. Okay, we lose only 734. So if we keep that up, we'll definitely have some money left at the end of the season, even after our HQ upgrades. So that'll bring us back to our main menu. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned next time where we'll head to Phoenix in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.